How much money can you actually earn in 2025 before the tax office wants its share? This is one of the most important questions for every employee, pensioner, and student in Germany. The answer is crucial because it directly determines how much net income you have left from your gross salary at the end of the month. Think of it as a protective shield for your income. The state guarantees that a certain amount of your earnings remains completely untouched by income tax. This amount is meant to cover your basic living expenses, your so-called subsistence level. Everything you earn up to this limit is 100% yours. Only once you cross this line does the tax calculation begin, and even then, only for the amount that exceeds it. This protective shield is not a fixed number. It changes almost every year. The government adjusts it to account for inflation and rising living costs. For 2025, there is good news for your wallet. The tax-free allowance is set to increase again, which means more financial relief for millions of people. Understanding this change is not just for tax experts. It is essential knowledge for anyone who wants to have a better grip on their finances and ensure they are not paying a single cent more in taxes than absolutely necessary. Knowing the exact figures helps you plan your budget for the upcoming year and anticipate how much money you will actually have available for your daily life, your savings, or your next holiday. So, let's talk about the specific numbers that will be important from January 1st, 2025. This is the core of the good news. The government has decided to raise the basic tax-free allowance, known as the Grundfreibetrag. This adjustment ensures that your purchasing power is not eaten away by taxes while prices for everyday goods are rising. Many people are often unaware of these annual changes and, as a result, might miss out on potential savings or fail to understand why their net pay suddenly looks a little different. Being informed empowers you to check your payslip critically and to make sure that these legal benefits are correctly applied to your salary from the very beginning of the year. The reason why so many people pay too much tax is simple. They don't know the rules. The German tax system can seem complicated, but the principle of the tax-free allowance is straightforward and designed to help you. It's a fundamental right that your basic needs are secured before the state takes its cut. By not knowing the exact amount of this allowance or how it works, you might leave money on the table that rightfully belongs to you. This essay is here to change that. We will guide you through the key changes for 2025, explain what the numbers mean for you personally, and show you how to make the most of the system to keep more of your hard-earned money. The most important figure for you in 2025 is the Grundfreibetrag, the basic tax-free allowance. For a single person, this amount will be 11,784 euros. This means that if your total taxable income for the entire year is 11,784 euros or less, you will not have to pay any income tax at all. It is a significant increase from the previous year, reflecting the government's effort to provide relief in times of economic pressure. For married couples or registered partners who file their taxes jointly, the benefit doubles. Together, they can earn up to 23,568 euros in 2025 without being taxed. This joint assessment is a major advantage for couples where one partner earns significantly more than the other, or where one partner has no income at all. But what does this increase actually mean for your monthly paycheck? Let's look at a simple example. Imagine you are a single employee and earn a gross salary of 2,500 euros per month, which adds up to 30,000 euros a year. In this scenario, the first 11,784 euros of your income are completely tax-free. The income tax is only calculated on the amount that exceeds this threshold. So, the tax office will only consider the remaining 18,216 euros, 30,000 euros minus 11,784 as your taxable income. The higher the tax-free allowance, the smaller this taxable portion becomes, and consequently, the lower your tax burden will be. This translates directly into a higher net salary each month. This automatic relief is usually factored into your monthly payroll by your employer. They use the official tax brackets, or Lohnsteuerklassen, to calculate the wage tax deducted from your salary. The basic tax-free allowance is already built into these calculations. That is why you will notice a slight increase in your net pay at the beginning of 2025 without having to do anything yourself. It is an automatic adjustment that benefits every single taxpayer. However, it is always a good idea to check your first payslip of the new year to ensure the changes have been correctly implemented. A small check can give you peace of mind and confirm that you are receiving the full benefit of this tax relief. It is important to remember that this basic allowance is just one piece of the puzzle. The German tax system offers a variety of other allowances and deductions. The Grundfreibetrag is designed to secure your basic existence and is granted to everyone automatically. You do not have to apply for it or prove any specific expenses. It is fundamentally different from other types of allowances, such as the child allowance or Kinderfreibetrag, or deductions for work-related expenses, or Werbungskosten, which are designed for specific life situations or costs. The basic allowance is the foundation upon which all other tax calculations are built, ensuring a fair starting point for everyone. While the basic tax-free allowance provides a solid foundation, you can further reduce your taxable income by making use of other allowances and deductions. A key tool for every employee is the employee lump sum, or Arbeitnehmer Pauschbetrag, also known as the Income-Related Expenses Allowance or Werbungskostenpauschale. For 2025, this amount remains at a significant €1,230. The tax office automatically deducts this amount from your income, assuming you have at least this much in work-related expenses. This includes costs for your commute, work clothes, or professional literature. You do not need to provide any receipts for this lump sum. It is granted to you automatically. The real trick, however, is to see if your actual work-related expenses exceed this €1,230 lump sum. Do you have a long commute to work? Do you pay for professional training courses or union fees? Did you buy a new laptop that you primarily use for your job? If you add up all these costs and they total more than €1,230, you should definitely declare them in your tax return. Every euro you claim above the lump sum further reduces your taxable income. For example, if you can prove €2,000 in expenses, your taxable income will be reduced by an additional €770, €2,000 minus €1,230, leading to a direct tax saving. Let's combine this with the basic allowance in a practical example. Suppose your annual income is €13,500. At first glance, this is above the basic tax-free allowance of €11,784, so you would expect to pay some tax. However, the tax office first automatically subtracts the employee lump sum of €1,230. This reduces your taxable income to €12,270, €13,500 minus €1,230. This is still above the threshold. But what if you had higher expenses? Let's say you spent €1,800 on a professional development course. Now, your total work-related expenses are higher than the lump sum. Your taxable income is now €11,700, €13,500 minus €1,800. Suddenly, you are below the €11,784 limit and pay zero income tax. This demonstrates how actively managing your deductions can make a huge difference. Many people pay unnecessary taxes simply because they stick with the automatic lump sum instead of tracking their actual expenses. Besides work-related costs, there are also special expenses, or Sonderausgaben, like contributions to your private pension plan or health insurance, and extraordinary burdens, or außergewöhnliche Belastungen, such as high medical costs. All of these can be used to lower your tax burden. The key is to be aware of these possibilities and to collect the necessary receipts and documents throughout the year. Don't let this money go to waste. Many people with lower incomes believe that filing a tax return is not worth the effort, especially if their earnings are close to the tax-free allowance. This is a common and costly mistake. In many cases, your employer deducts wage tax from your salary each month based on a standardized estimate. This system does not account for your individual deductions, such as high work-related expenses or special financial burdens that might have occurred during the year. As a result, it is very likely that you have paid more tax throughout the year than you were legally required to. The only way to get this money back from the tax office is by filing a tax return. Think of the tax return as your official request for a refund. It is your opportunity to tell the tax authorities the full story of your financial year. You can declare all the expenses we have discussed, from your daily commute to the cost of a new work computer. This is particularly important for students in part-time jobs, apprentices, or anyone whose income fluctuates. If you only worked for a few months of the year, the monthly tax deductions were likely calculated as if you would earn that salary for the entire year, leading to a disproportionately high tax payment. A tax return corrects this and ensures you get your overpaid money back. On average, those who file a tax return receive a refund of over €1,000. Filing a tax return is not as difficult as it sounds. There are many user-friendly software programs and online tools that guide you through the process step by step. They ask simple questions about your income and expenses and automatically fill in the correct forms for you. These tools often provide helpful tips and point out potential deductions you might have overlooked. The small investment of time and possibly a small fee for the software can pay off handsomely. It is your right to claim back what you are owed, and you should not be intimidated by the paperwork. It is a process that millions of people complete successfully every year. In summary, remember these key points for 2025. The basic tax-free allowance rises to €11,784 for singles and €23,568 for married couples, giving you more net income automatically. But do not stop there. You can reduce your taxable income even further by claiming work-related expenses, especially if they exceed the €1,230 lump sum. Always file a tax return, even with a low income. It is the only way to reclaim any taxes you have overpaid during the year. By understanding these simple rules, you can take control of your finances and ensure you keep more of the money you worked so hard to earn.